In the previous video, I looked at PlayStation 2 games that were ported over to the Game Boy Advance, and the resulting ports had some interesting results. Some defied expectations and others clearly had substandard results. How about Game Boy Advance spin-off games? Ones that had no console ports and were exclusive to the handheld? I picked a couple of games that interested me, and let's see if they were any good. We start with Zone of the Enders, Fist of Mars for the system. I never knew this game existed until now, and it was an early release for the Game Boy Advance. Unlike the PlayStation 2 games, this one is a turn-based strategy game, much in vain to the Super Robot Wars or Super Robot Tyson games, and let me tell you, this is a good thing because they are some of the greatest games in the genre. That means a super long and detailed story, good gameplay elements, and plenty to think about during battles. The graphics are pretty good and the artwork is nice on the eyes, although the combat sequences got a bit tiring after a while, as you either have to dodge the enemy or try to shoot them down during the first person sequences. I enjoyed the soundtrack to this game. It is much better than it has any right to be, and there's a decent amount of songs on offer. Worth a look, I think. Dragon Ball Z Supersonic Warriors for the system is amazing. I used to call it Budokai on the go, and this 2D fighting game is a real gem. You have a story mode that follows the event up to the Buu Saga, other what if story modes that are fun to try out, and a decent cast of characters to use. You have a couple of special attacks, energy blasts along with light and strong attacks. Charging, powering up, grabs, teleport attacks, and even knocking your foes through walls and buildings is possible. The controls are simple yet effective. The soundscapes, music, and even voiced lines are clear and pack a punch. Oh, and the fighting action is engrossing from start to finish. There's even a ton of extra modes to engage in. This really is quite a game. Tekken makes an appearance on the Game Boy Advance, courtesy of Tekken Advance. This is a mashup of Tekken 3 and Tekken Tag Tournament. Luckily, despite the limitations of the Game Boy Advance, this game was built from the ground up and it shows. The controls are simplified but are very responsive, just as you'd expect from a game made after Tekken 3. The moves are easy to pull off and the most expected moves are retained. The animations are very good here and the action is fast paced and relentless. I was even impressed with the tag team mode. Graphically, the game is decent but not spectacular, and the soundscape is a bit underwhelming. The punches and kicks sound fine, but the music is just mess city. It's just there and it fails to inspire anything. Back then, this was a good attempt to get the series on the go, but Tekken 6 on the PSP or the PC port of Tekken 7 or 8 using a PC handheld easily beat this humble game in 2024. This is now nothing more than a curiosity. I played a few more titles for this video, so sit back and enjoy the montage. Hopefully we will see some more gems, right? Well, there we are. Just a few games for the Game Boy Advance which were spin-offs from the main series of games usually made for more powerful platforms. All were interesting to try out and all had a kind of charm you'd expect for the system. Some are still worth playing today, whereas others have been superseded by newer games on more powerful hardware. This makes me want to see how Game Boy Advance games fare compared to the 6th generation of games made for the consoles of the time and even the Sony PlayStation. You let me know, what were your thoughts on the games in this video? What other games should I try? Tell me in the comments, and I will see you soon.